I'm not very good at explaining how I feel about things and how I like when I see a piece of media, how like I can interpret that in words. And sometimes, you know, some people online, they make very good points. Like I read things, I'm like, no, that's a very nuanced and well-explained way of appreciating the story. And it helps me understand my perspective.
Totally.
So that I don't also want to shut myself off to looking at online discussion for stuff because I feel like I learn things sometimes.
Yeah.
You just have to sift through a lot of shit to get to it.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, this is just more the evolution of online discussion in general, where it's become a lot more polarized.
Yeah.
I think
Especially
it's easy to spot. I think
it
it's easy to spot
is a
when
lot
someone's
easier to spot.
pushing an agenda.
Yeah.
Or they're just actually trying to.
Yeah, or they just like rage baiting or something, right?
Yeah, it's so obvious. It's,
Yeah,
and I think
totally.
that is a skill that will become more important as time goes on online.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very important to identify.
That's why I've never been with the idea that people have been saying, and I've heard a bunch of people saying of like, oh, online discourse is like dead, or like, you know, it's not as good as it like used to be. And I'm like, no, it's definitely still there. It's just there's a lot more people in this space who are trying to participate in it now.
I don't know. I would think it's a lot worse.
There's a lot of like bots and AI.
Well, well, that's what I mean, right? It's like
it's
still
just
there.
getting-
You just have to go through more layers to actually get to it.
I was watching like I was watching the fucking new Down the Rabbit Hole, and it was like it was about the Skyrim unofficial mod thing.
Yeah,
I
I
loved
watched
it.
it. Yeah.
And the thing that like really stood out to me was that all of this video was literally from forums, and the one thing I also noticed is that everyone on these forums talked quite, like, I would say relatively eloquently. Like they were all pretty like very thoughtful in the way that they spoke. And I was like, damn, we don't have that no more. That is gone. Like this like, obviously forums are also chaotic back then as well. I'm not saying that like it was better back then, but like it felt very odd to me seeing that and feeling like we are quite far removed from that now.
Yeah. So do you think it's like completely dead though?
No, I
The
think
whole
I
online
think it's just
discourse
been
thing?
shifted to more so private discords.
Yeah.
It depends on
and like private spaces.
Right.
Which I think is a shame.
because one thing I find weird is that with online discourse and online discussion, whatever platform you're having that discussion on completely changes the tone of the
totally.
the tone of the conversation.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's almost weird in a way where if you're trying to discuss like Mushoku Tensei or something,
Yeah.
depending on what type of discussion you want to have, there's different social media for that, you know?
Yeah.
If you just want to fucking vent or you want to push an agenda, probably X, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go onto Twitter or Instagram to have a fucking deep online discussion
Yeah,
about something.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think every site adds their own weird flavor to it.
Right.
Like, and I don't know where the best place would be to discuss something. 'Cause it's like, if you go on like Reddit, I find that it's very male centric.
Right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes like just misogynistic unnecessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't really want just a guy's perspective on things.
Yeah.
Like, I would love it. I'd fucking, because I have not spoken to a girl who's watching Mr. Tensei. I would love to know a girl's perspective on this season. Like genuinely, like I don't.
Yo, any women watching this episode of Watch
Hit
Mushoku
me up.
Tensei?
Here's my number. Hit me. I don't know. I've never like, you know what I mean? Like, but I would love to hear a woman's perspective.
Absolutely.
On that, 'cause I've already spoken to me and the boys about erectile dysfunction shit, you know? It's
like, ladies, you can relate.
genuinely, I would love that. But like anyone on Reddit claims to be a girl, I'm like, okay, buddy.
Okay, Pixar didn't happen. Come on.
There you go. I've seen your Reddit posting history. I don't believe you. And then it's like, if you want to discuss it on X, it's like, I'm discussing with the literal nets. I just like, I don't want to see this. Like, you know?
That is true.
So like, it's like, I just like, all these websites have different flavors and I don't want any of them.
If you want to discuss Mushoku Tensei on like
Dude, that'd be
X,
crazy to discuss it on Twitter.
it's just like there's a certain crowd on like X, right, where it's just like the worst of the worst people on like both sides on it.
Oh yeah.
Where you're like, you say you like Mushoku Tensei, people are like, so you're a pedophile then, okay. And I'm like, no, can we not just like a show? Jesus God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah,
But,
I guess if you want like proper online discourse now, I guess like private Discord
think it's-
groups are probably like the
But then it's a
best
shame
place
because then
to
I'm
go.
watching the Skyrim video and I'm like, damn, it's a lost art.
Yeah,
This
that is true.
forum meltdown and arguments between moderators and administrators. I'm like, God, it's just there's something so fuzzy and warm about it. Like, when I think about
The good old days.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I have been banned by this moderator. I think I've been unjustly banned. I would like, I don't know. I just love it. There's something nice about it. I don't know. I think about it. I get really cozy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing these videos. I'm like, man, it's lost now.
Bring that back.
It's lost, man.
Yeah, that
it's
is true.
it's such a fun thing, and I look back so fondly on it. And there are still forums and stuff, but it's a different vibe, I think, now.
Because now there's so many options to do it. Whereas like if you look back, like 10, 20 years ago, there really was maybe just one forum page where you had to go there, and you had to be dedicated as well to like not only find that forum, but to also like be involved in that discourse.
Yeah, there was a massive sense, I think, of involvement that I think people would take on voluntarily that I think is gone now. I think it's just a difference in how we view the internet. I think before it was more of a hobby and more of an escape, and so people went on there to kind of socialize, whereas now I feel like
it's the opposite.
It's the opposite where like you are almost shackled to the socialization.
Well, talking to you, having a human conversation feels refreshing than some of the discussions I see online. That is true. Genuinely, it's great being able to have a conversation with Connor about Mushoku Tensei, for example, and having like a more nuanced take.
Yeah.
And then I can't wait for like 2 weeks to pass, and then one of the clips is going to be posted on Twitter or something.
Oh yeah,
and it's going to be being like,
see, I told you they were pedophiles.
Yeah, and it's going to be like either, okay, he likes Rudy. I didn't know he was a Diddy lover.
I bet he supported Diddy.
He's on the Epstein files. I swear to God.
But I also as
so true.
As this has kind of gone on, I've also realized that like, man, you just got to have a fucking. I'm glad that on the show that we can fucking talk about this shit, and that the audience generally doesn't give a fuck, and I think maybe I don't know if I'm speaking for you guys if you're watching, but I think you appreciate that we talk about media, any media that we just like, and we try to give you
even if you may not agree,
an unfiltered thoughts on it, and not try to sanitize it.
No, totally.
I like that. I like that we can do that.
Yeah.
And
because where else are they going to go for it? The Mushoku Tensei subreddit.
Well, again, everyone's just trying to fucking push something, man.
Yeah.
I think when you're too invested in a show as well, it gets hard to separate your own attachment to it.
Have you ever been that attached to like a
Hannah Montana?
show? So if someone like this Hannah Montana, you'd be like,
no.
In their faces.
I've never been. I don't think I'd ever feel that way. I think I've never felt that kind of. I've never put my self-worth on a show like that.
Yeah.
Or like put so much of myself onto someone else's media.
I mean, there's lots of shows that, we've been passionate about, but I don't think there's any one where we can point to and being like, yeah, that actually took over my life for however many amount of time, where like all I could do and all I could think and all I could talk about was this one
it was
thing.
like a good 3 months where I could only talk about JoJo, I think.
Yeah, but that's 3 months.
Yeah,
there are people who have been doing that for like fucking years.
Yeah.
And it's like their entire personality. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I appreciate it. Some people have to be the law masters of communities and shows.
Yeah.
It's good that we have those people.
Totally.
And they always, I think you will always find someone like-minded, I think, generally
absolutely.
speaking.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So I think it's okay.
Like something I'm not sure, because I am very involved in the anime community, but there is sometimes a certain type of fan where it's almost like if you criticize their IP or their show, it almost feels like you're criticizing them.
Yes.
So there is this
yeah.
guttural like reaction if there is like any. If you do say something wrong, it's almost like you are having a personal attack on them.
Is that anything new though in the anime community?
No, I was saying, is this something?
This is every community.
Yeah.
Like games do this too.
I can only speak on behalf of the anime community because, I was very involved at one point. So like I know that the best. And I feel like from the very beginning, like, if I say like Fairy Tail bad, then a bunch of people are going to be like, we have to cancel.
I think there's like two folds to it. I think there is an aspect of anime fandom that is a bit more obsessive than other fandoms.
Yes.
Like people who get into anime, like me personally, like I was at a point in my life where I really needed something that kind of like spoke to me.
Yeah.
And so I think that was like really huge in my life.
No, totally.
I started making YouTube videos about it because I'm sure.
As we all did.
Yeah. Right? So I think there's that aspect. So people who tend to get into anime, I think tend to have a bit of a stronger attachment to anime as opposed to other media.
Yeah.
Like movies and games.
Yeah, because like the reason I'm bringing this up was because like you say something about like Game of Thrones or
no one gives a fuck.
No one gives a fuck, right? Or I know Dune or something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of like mainstream media kind of show movie or something.
Although, to be fair, if someone came up to me and said Dune bad, then I would be like, you're fucking wrong. You fucking pleb. Watch it again.
And I don't know if it's just because I've been so exposed to the anime sphere growing up, but there's always been a certain intensity in the anime community that I don't see as often outside of anime, but I know I'm obviously very biased when it comes to my
Yeah. Well, I think it may also be because, back in the day, it was still very much a niche. And I feel with fan bases that pertain to a very selected niche, you naturally are going to become so much more overprotective about it, right?
Well, it was kind of like a safe space.
Absolutely.
At least
it was
at least
absolutely,
for me, you know?
it was absolutely a safe space for a lot of people. And so that's why when you suddenly encounter someone who, you might see as like an outsider, quote unquote, to that niche, come in and start criticizing that one thing, then obviously your first reaction is going to be, well, what the fuck? You don't know anything about this, and why are you coming in to criticize something that we're just chilling in the corner enjoying on our own accord?
Yeah.
But it's very unwarranted of you, even though they may have some actual legit criticisms towards the show that you like. Whereas, nowadays, it's so much more, anime as a community has just become so much more mainstream now that the online discourse of it is a little more forgiving, I guess. If someone comes in and says like, this show bad, you can be like, yeah, well, fuck it, whatever. Who cares? I'm going to keep enjoying it. Or I don't know, maybe that's just me having grown up and not giving a fuck about what other people think.
I think a lot of this is just part of growing up.
Yeah.
Just maturing.
Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, I don't know. There's also a lot of ways that anime is so easy to incorporate in your life. Like the aesthetics of anime are so pleasing. So it's like you can either wear clothes that kind of resemble it, or you can kind of, if you're online,
Who would do that?
Yeah. Or you can kind of have like, if you were like online, you can kind of make your profile picture fucking animated, you know? And then there's the aspect where I think like anime stories are generally like very hopeful. I think there's a lot of hope there and a lot of like, aspects to stories that are kind of comforting. Whereas I feel like sometimes, sometimes Western media not so much, kind of gritty, sometimes not always as hopeful. I think,
totally.
And it's just different styles of writing, and I think it appeals to different people. But I think it connects really well with people who like anime. And so I think that's what ends up having kind of more intense fandom. But I also I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.